Now, we all know how to do this. And we enter our password, and we're in. But what if instead we can just do this? Boom, no password needed. Now the second time, I didn't need to use a password because I was using something called public key authentication or key pair login. Instead of using a password, it uses a pair of digital keys. When I use key pair login, I don't need any passwords. And here's the cool part. Key pair login is actually much more secure than usernames and passwords. I'm not going to deep dive into why this is in this video. We'll save that for another time. Today is all about setting up key pairs and how to use them. And if you stick with me till the end, I'll even show you a little trick that lets you in without even having to type a username. So let's get started. No more passwords, faster logins, and way better security. Now before we go any further, let's talk about each key in the key pair and where to store them. This part matters because if you put the wrong key in the wrong place, you'll either be prompted for a password like normal or you'll just receive an error. Now, two keys are required to make SSH key pair login take place. You need a public key and you need a private key. Each must be stored in a specific place for key pair login to function properly. The private key must be stored in the SSH client, and the public key must be stored on the SSH server. It's easier to remember which one goes where if you think of it like this. The private key goes in your pocket because it belongs to you and you never share it with anyone. But the public key is like a lock on the door to the server. Anyone in public can see the lock, but only you have the private key to unlock the door and access the server. Keep in mind, this analogy is meant to help you remember where each key goes, but it's not actually a good representation of how the technology works under the hood. That is actually a lot more complicated. So we'll save that for another video. Now let's move on and I'll show you how to set up SSH key pair login. And what's wild is, this actually only takes 2 commands, if you know exactly which ones. We'll start with the first one here. ssh-keygen. This will make the key pair. Now it's going to ask us, where do you want to save this? Do you want to save it here? And since we are fine with that location, we're just going to hit enter. And it'll say, do you want to enter a passphrase? Just to make it a little bit more secure. It's like a password for your private key. But we don't want to for this particular demonstration, so we'll just hit enter for no passphrase. And it's asking us to confirm. We'll hit enter again. Now you'll see this box of random art pop up, and this really threw me for a loop for years because I didn't know really what it was. And what it is, it's just a visual fingerprint of your public key, and it's there so humans can compare the keys if they need to, but for 99% of us, we don't really need it, so we can just ignore it. Now let me quickly show you where it placed the private and public keys. So we'll clear our screen, ls, LAH. Well, let's do this. Now you'll see a bunch of files and directories here, but this is our private key right here that we just created. This is our public key that we just created. You can always identify the public key because it usually ends in .pub for public. So that makes it pretty easy. Let's clear our screen again. Right now we've created the keys, but the connection won't work yet. My client computer has a private key, but the server doesn't know about it. So next, I'll show you how to copy the public key over to the server. And once this is done, passwordless login begins functioning immediately. Now we'll do the second command, which is just ssh-copy-id. Make sure it's a D. John at 192.168.229.128. We'll hit enter. And it's saying, okay, give me the password for John so we can connect and put the public key in the right place. So we'll enter John's password. So the ssh-copy-id command takes my public key and drops it into a file called authorized keys on the server. The authorized keys file is the server's trusted list of clients. Now, if you want to see where the authorized keys file is stored, we'll just do this. Notice we're under the user John, and we'll go vi home john.ssh, and then we'll type authorized keys. And there it is on the first line right there. There's our authorized key right there. So hit escape to get out of this. Hold down Shift-Z-Q to quit without saving. Want to see something really cool that will make you feel like a pro? We'll make it so you don't even have to type a username or IP address or hostname. My buddy Daniel showed me this years ago, and the first time I saw it, I went, wait, how did you do that? So here it is. We'll go vi -rc. We'll hold down Shift and hit the G key, and then we'll hit the letter O to enter insert mode and go to the next line. And then we'll type this. We'll type alias login _Cali. It all has to be one word. Equals, and then a single quote, SSH John at 192.168.229.128, single quote, and then we'll hit escape, and then we'll hold down Shift ZZ twice to save and exit. And let's reload the bash rc files. We'll go source bash rc, hit enter, and now check this out. We'll just type login _Cali, and there it is. It logs us in, doesn't ask us for a password. We don't have to type an IP address or host name. We don't have to type even a username. At this point, you've officially leveled up your SSH skills. You've got faster logins, better security, and a setup that professionals actually use. Let me know of any other SSH questions you may have in the comments. And thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one.